I really need to write longer reviews on Goodreads. Hello, how's it going? How's your day? How's your week? I hope it's well. For this video, I am going to be doing an October wrap-up. Shocker, at the beginning of the month. You can see my computer screen and my glasses, but I need it for my reviews because I freaking suck. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I can't remember if I said happy Thanksgiving, but I hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving. I've got a green sweater on because it's December 1st, so it's officially Christmas. And I'm super excited about it. But let's get started. The first book that I read this month is Book Boyfriend by Claire Kingsley. This follows Alex and Mia, and they meet at a bookstore. Well, okay, they meet at a bookstore in person, but Alex, who's in a dead-end job, starts to write romance, and he does it under a pen name? I think it's a pen name, and of Alexandra or something. I can't really remember what his pen name is, but he becomes friends with Mia under his pen name, and they become friends that way, and then they meet in a bookstore. They literally run into each other, and he buys her books, and she's like, oh my god, and then they start seeing each other. So Alex has to keep the secret that he's also Lexi. He has to keep the secret that he's also Lexi, and he doesn't find out until maybe a third of the way in. But this was just he has to keep that secret, and it was just annoying. This book was not good, unfortunately. I gave it, I gave it 2 stars, or 1.5. So here's my thing. I'm terrible at DNFing books, the absolute worst. I just want to know what happens. I want to finish it, and I'm just not good at putting things down. And I guess that should be a New Year's resolution, is if I don't like something, I just need to put it down. But I don't know how well that'll go. So this was just annoying. I don't think I really disliked Alex. I don't think there was really anything wrong with Alex. I think my whole issue was with Mia, because I didn't have an issue reading in Alex's point of view. I just really hated Mia. She put Alex on this huge pedestal because he bought her books and then they went out for coffee, and he was just he's a book boyfriend, and it just, she was annoying because this dude honestly was doing the bare minimum, and she was he was she acted like he was heaven sent, and he wasn't, and he was annoying, and I could not stand this. Next is Swimming Lessons by Lily Reinhart. I don't remember what I gave this. Oh, I gave this 2 stars too. I picked this up at Target for I got it on sale, the 20% off. I'm not really a poetry person. I've said this in past videos, every time I talk about poetry, I'm not a poetry person. I can't, I don't sit and, read between the lines and, pick apart things. I just read poems. And I didn't really like this. It felt to me like sentences put together with they're trying to be poems, which is fine. It just wasn't the way that I rate books, poem books, I guess, is how many pictures I take. Is this poem pretty enough for me to take a picture of it? That's, I didn't really take many pictures of this. It's beautiful. The inside is pretty. But I just don't think it's that memorable, unfortunately. The next book that I read is Dear Ava by Ilsa Madden Mills. I hope I said that correctly. This follows Ava and Knox, and this starts out with Ava waking up in the woods with no underwear on, like not remembering what happened the night before, and she goes to like a private school with Knox and a ton of other people. She was at a party and no one is saying anything, like nothing's really happening. So it's basically her coming back to the private school that she went to when it happened. Just to clarify a little bit better, someone picks her up from the woods and brings her to her friend's house, and she's taken to the hospital, and she gives the police a report and everything, so it's an ongoing investigation, but basically she gets a lot of crap for coming forward, and she's called a slut and all of those things, and so she's been gone for about a year, and the story, we flash forward, I believe, 10 months, so just wanted to clarify. And trying to find out who raped her, and her relationship with Knox, and kind of, I don't want to say getting over the rape, but like talking more about it, like coming to terms, I guess, with what happened. I don't know how to explain it, but like, hi, so I am not liking the way that I'm explaining her dealing with the rape. I basically want to say that, like, her coming back to the school and, like, she's taking her power back is the way that I took it, and I just couldn't think of the words while I was filming this, and that's basically what I think the moral of this book is that, like, she's getting her power back, she's taking herself back, she's becoming who she truly needs and wants to be, and the rape, I think, kind of pulled her back a little bit, and yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say, like, her, like, trying to figure out who raped her and who was maybe involved, like, all of that has stuff to do with the storyline, and it has to do with her, but I think this was done really well. I hope that explained it a little better. Character development. I did like this. I'm gonna just read my review because I can't remember. So this is what I said. This one was kind of heavy, but I still loved it. I love Knox and the relationship he has with his brother. I feel like you don't see it read about. I feel like you don't read about the kind of relationship they have enough. The relationship with his brother was so sweet. I can't remember his name. Dane. His brother's name is Dane. They're really sweet. Like, there's a whole thing with Dane, and he's going through something, and he comes into his room one night, and just, like, Dane goes into Knox's room one night and just, like, cries, and he cuddles his brother, and it's so sweet. And I feel like in books and TV and movies, like, you don't get enough of that, and I wish that you did. Like, I feel like that's nice. I liked it. I loved Ava. She was very strong-willed, and I liked that about her. She really had a I'm not giving up mentality, and I wish I had that. Props to Ava. Like, she's going through it. Like, her mom bailed. Her and her brother are in, like not a nunnery. They're, like, in the foster system, but they stay with the nuns. I'm not exactly positive what that is, but, so she has to take care of her brother, and the nuns, like, let her stay past the age of 18, and then she goes back to the school. Her brother Tyler was super cute. Like, I thought he was written really well, like the little that we did get of him and her relationship with him. So the rape is a huge, like, it's the storyline, but it's never really flat out like she was raped. Like, it's not that, I don't want to say that. It's never, like, you know she was raped, but it doesn't go into detail. Like, she wakes up after the rape and she kind of has to, like, put two and two together and, like, figure it out herself, I guess. I figured out who raped her pretty easily. I don't know if I'm just, like, really good at that or it was just easy. I don't know. But there were things that happened that I was like, oh shit. So I did like Knox and Ava's relationship as well. They're weird, like, we're friends, but we both like each other and we don't know if the other likes the other, and that was super cute. And they had some, like, cute moments. Like, I feel like some books, like, it's just, like, automatic, like, sexual tension sometimes, but this was, like, very, like, gradual, but in, like, a good way. Like, it wasn't too fast and it wasn't too slow. I really liked that. And I really liked Knox with, I think we see him with Ava's brother, like, very slightly, but, or maybe we don't, I don't know. Maybe I just know that he would have been good with her brother. I don't know. I didn't really have any issues with it. Like, I feel like everything that was brought up was dealt with really well. But considering it's called Dear Ava, I thought there would be more letters and text, but there's not much. So yeah, I do recommend this. I thought it was good. But if you do have, like, triggers, it's probably not the book for you. The next book that I read is Midnight Blue by L.J. Shen. This follows Indigo and Alex Winslow. Alex is a rock star, like the lead singer of a band, and he is trying to get sober. So they hire Indy, to basically be his tour babysitter so that he doesn't do any drugs or drink any alcohol. And this, I gave 3 stars. This was kind of boring, not gonna lie. And then the last 50 pages, the twist happens, and I was like, oh shit. And I ate it up. I was like, yes, give it to me. So I don't know, it just, I don't think there was really anything wrong with any of the characters, but, like, also at the same time, they weren't interesting enough to keep me interested, you know? So yeah, not much to say about that one. So the next book that I read is the Bromance Book Club by Lissa K. Adams. This follows Gavin and Thea, and Gavin and Thea have been married for like 3 or 4 years, and they have twin daughters. Oh shit, I'm gonna forget their names. I think Ava and Amelia. Yeah, Ava and Amelia. And they are separated. The beginning of the book starts out with Gavin in a hotel room telling his friends that his wife has asked for a divorce. And so they are like, come join our book club. And the book club is men reading romance to try to understand women better. I really like this concept. I gave this 4 stars. I think I had really high expectations, and it kind of brought me down a bit. I don't know. I think there's a lot to like about this book, but there's also a lot not to like about this book. Like, I don't know. I loved Gavin. I think Gavin was great. And I don't think, like, obviously there are things that people need to do to grow in relationships. And I think they were both kind of putting all the blame on each other. But especially Thea, like, she was just, like, putting everything on Gavin. And she really bothered me. Like, I genuinely disliked Thea and I wanted them to break up. I did not want them to get back together. I didn't think this was like, and then she just started to get like slightly better, like 75% of the way through, and she was just annoying. Oh, Liv, her sister Liv wasn't even in this much, and I wanted to stab her. Like, I understand, like, being a protective sister. I'm a sister, and I'd kill somebody if they hurt my sister, but also at the same time, like, Gavin and Thea are trying to repair their relationship and, like, be together, and they're just trying to, like, figure it out, and Liv's over here, like, you're an asshole. I can't believe you would do this. Like, she just, like, a little freaking mouse on your shoulder just talking, and you're just like, shut up. Why are you talking? And I hated her. My point is that, because I feel like I don't understand what I'm saying, is that I'm a sister, and I understand the anger that Liv is feeling towards Gavin for, like, breaking her sister's heart and whatever, but also at the same time, Gavin and Thea's relationship has absolutely nothing to do with Liv. And her putting her 2 cents in while their children are present and in front of Gavin and all of this stuff, like, keep your mouth shut. That's my point. Ooh, Thea. Okay, the thing that made me, like, I didn't have an issue with Thea at first. I was kind of just like, yeah. But, like, okay, so this also, a thing that, like, the thing that separates them is he gets a grand slam in, I can't remember, like, when or where, or if it, like, puts him to, like, the World Series or whatever, but he gets a grand slam, and then they go home, and they have sex, and she has an orgasm. Girlfriend has not had an orgasm from her husband in 3 years. And she, like, he finds out, and he's like, he starts to sleep in the other room. And so that's when they, like, start to separate, and then she asks for a divorce, and she decides, without speaking to him, they have decided nothing, like, she's just decided that they're gonna have she wants a divorce, that they had planned to go to Ohio for Thanksgiving, and Thea, Gavin, and the 2 girls are out, like, at a diner, and the waitress is like, what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? And one of the girls is like, oh, we're going to Grammy's and Papa's in Ohio to have Thanksgiving. And Thea's like, oh, no, we're not. And Gavin is like, what? So they don't go to Thanksgiving, and it just felt like a full-on freaking power move, and I hated it. I just felt like Thea was just pulling power move after power move because she knew that she could, and she wasn't trying to, at first, trying to repair whatever the relationship that was happening. Is Gavin completely innocent? No. Like, this is totally a miscommunication thing, and you have to communicate with your partner, but I just feel like Thea was the real villain in this, and I hated her, and I'm sorry. Oh, and, when Liv goes through Gavin's closet, that infuriated me. Like, I just hated Liv. I did not like Thea for a very long time. The only thing I really liked about this was the book club. I liked the book club members, the guys. And, I did, like, because you also get, like, snippets of the book that the bromance club is reading, and I thought that was fun. Like, I'd read that book, too. I'm not really, like, a historical romance person, but that was fun. I'd probably read that. So, and I was gonna, like, immediately start the second one, and I can't do it because it's Liv. But I really liked Mac, and I don't know if I'm going to like it, and I'm a little reluctant. So, who knows? My sisters, speaking of sisters, keep texting me. So, the next book that I read is The Roommate by Rosie Danan, and this follows Clara and Josh. And Clara, who grew up on the East Coast in New York, like, kind of like rich, elite type of thing. It kind of reminded me of Gossip Girl a little bit, but like less dramatic. Like, she's trying to be like perfect for her family or her mom, because she's trying not to have scandals. She decides that she's going to move to California with her biggest crush ever, Everett. Growing up, she's gonna move to his house and live with him for the summer. So she like turned down this internship, I think, and she's gonna go live with him. And then she gets to California, and Everett's like, psych, I'm going on tour, so you're gonna be living with this stranger named Josh. And she gets there, and Josh is there, and they talk, and then she talks about her aunt, who is kind of part of the reason that she wants to be perfect. Her aunt fell in love with the mayor, and then like tied herself or chained herself to like something outside. It was funny. Props to her aunt. But she goes out with her aunt, who she hasn't spoken to in like 10 years, I think. And she is like, oh, this is my roommate. And she's like, girl, that's Josh Darling. So she finds out that Josh is actually a porn star. Fun. And so they start like kind of hooking up with each other. Not really. Like, it's just kind of like little things. Y'all, oh my god, I loved this so much. So I actually read this. This is a book that I honestly wish that I could like forget that I read it and read it again, so that I could like just fall in love with them again. It was that good. Like, did this change my whole entire life? No, but it was so fun. It was so good. I actually read this. My power was out, and I read it at night, like hovered in a blanket with a flashlight. I loved Josh. I loved Clara. I just didn't want to put this down. It was just so good. I loved them. I loved their relationship. I loved the building of their relationship and just everything about this. It was so fun. Oh, and then also they like start to build, because he is in like a bad contract with his company or whatever, so she's like, start your own company, because he can do audio but he can't film. So they start a company with his ex-girlfriend, and it was so good. Like, people I saw like didn't really like this because they were like, it's a typical book, like it's not very out there. But like, I feel like that's fine sometimes. If you think it's fun, I can read the same book over and over again, and if it's written differently and it's written in a fun way, I will read it a million times over. I loved this. I loved it so much. I've read it in like one sitting, and I haven't done that in a really long time. So I'm really excited about this, and I'm really excited about the next book. So the next book that I read is Play by Kylie Scott. This follows Mal, the drummer of Stage Dive, and Anne Rollins. Anne is the neighbor of where Evelyn used to live, where I think Steph is her name? Lauren, sorry. So Lauren is Evelyn's best friend, and she's dating Evelyn's brother Nate, and she lives next door. And she gets home, and her roommate Sky has left, like stole money. Well, like Anne like paid for like the rent and stuff because Sky had lost her job. So Anne was like, I got you, just pay me back. And Sky was like, and then like skedaddled, like she was like gone. So Nate and Lauren, I think, yeah, Nate and Lauren are like, Anne, come to this party with us. It'll be super fun. Which I believe it was like a party for David and Evelyn. And so she goes, and Mal starts flirting with her, and then she like tells him what's going on, and he moves in. And this was also super fun. I think it was just fun. Like, it's just one of those books that you pick up and like, you know what's gonna happen, but it's still like, you don't care. It's just like, it's a fun book. I give this 4 stars. It is like kind of like same vibes as the first one, but also like, I feel like Mal was funnier. Like, he's also dealing with issues, so is Anne, but it was just fun. I liked it. I don't really know what else to say about it. I think I liked Mal more than David, but I don't know if I like this relationship more than David and Evelyn. So, I don't know. He was fun in Lick too, Mal, so yeah, it was a fun book. It's one of those things that like, you either like it or you hate it, but I enjoyed it, so. The next book that I'm going to talk about is Dirty Headlines by L.J. Shen. This follows Cellian and Jude. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. I googled it, and that's how Surrey pronounced it, so that's how I'm going to pronounce it. They meet in a bar, and then they have a one-night stand. And then Jude wakes up, or doesn't fall asleep, and steals like $1,500 and his wallet. She takes all of his cards out though, so props on her. And then 2 months later, she is hired by his news company, and she is switched from like the beauty coverage people to his floor. I can't remember exactly like what they want her to do, but she ends up like sitting at like screens and being like, this is important, this really isn't important, this is not important at all. So like looking at news coverages. So he ends up being her boss, and it's like a secret love affair thing. I liked this a lot, actually. I think I just liked them together. I think it was just good, and I liked having that, like, because sometimes they're like building a relationship and they absolutely hate each other, but I don't think these two ever actually hated each other. I think it was just a dislike, and I think it was more like they felt like they needed to hate each other, especially Cellian to Jude because she stole from him. But I loved this. I loved them. So yeah, recommend. Also, she steals it for a reason. Like, she's not just like sleeping with men to be like, I'm gonna steal their money. It's a thievery of convenience. She did it because, like, not that there's ever an excuse to steal either, but her dad's sick and she, like, can't afford anything. So, I guess with that money, she paid, like, 2, like, power bills. So, I feel like that's important to know. But I did. And then, like, also, Celian is, like, going through it as well. Like, it's just, like, more than meets the eye type of thing. And I think LJ Shen does it really well. Is, like, she's really good at, getting deep down into people's, like, hurt. And I think she's good at that. The next thing that I read is Homebody by Rupi Kaur. I'm so sorry. This was beautiful. I loved it. Like I said with swimming lessons and like how I take things and like especially poetry and like did I take a photo? How many photos did I take of any of these poems? I took a lot of pictures with this. It was so pretty and it covers a lot. Some people probably like, if you're like a huge like poetry person, you probably read this and were like, but I'm not, and I loved this. So, recommend. I don't know what that was. I think she's really good at putting things into words that you feel. Like, that you just never really know what to say, and she's just like, I know how to do it. And I think she's good at that. The next book that I read is Blood to Dust by LJ Shen. I'm finally like officially almost caught up with LJ Shen and her books. I don't know if I will read The Unlikely Event because I know something happens in that and it's not really handled well, and I don't know if I'm gonna read Tide. I might read it. I haven't decided yet. But this follows Prescott and Nate / Beat. Prescott has messed up, done something to this Godfrey guy and his son Camden, and he's like, we're gonna kidnap you. So they take her, they kidnap her, and Nate and this dude Ink is in charge of her. So they like tie her up in the basement and she's like, I'm gonna seduce him. So she seduces him and then they run off together. I hated this. I gave it 2.5 stars. I literally just finished this. I'm shocked I gave it 2.5. I don't know why I gave it 2.5, but I did. That's another thing that I need to work on is like, not that this is a 1-star book because I don't think it is, but giving books 1 star even if I've finished it. Like I feel like what I do is I give a book 2 stars if I've finished it. Like if you can keep me that interested, props to you. But I always finish books, so I hardly ever give out 1 stars. So, but this is my review on Goodreads. The first 100 pages, nothing happens. It's boring. The next 150 pages is more interesting than the first 100 pages, but a more boring Bonnie and Clyde-esque story. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't good, lol. This really just dragged on. I wish I liked it more. I liked Nate, but I hated Prescott for some reason. I don't even know why. This isn't LJ Shen's best. Which I feel like sums it up to me anyway pretty well. Like, nothing happens. Nothing happens. And then the end happens. And, like, the thing that I liked the most was the end. Like, the epilogue. And I think it was because they were, like, together and happy. Maybe I just need happy couples. I don't know. Maybe I just don't like bullshit. The last book that I read in October was, or November. Have I been saying October? Shocked face. In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. this follows Malin Jones, May, and she is on a Christmas vacation with her parents and her brother and like their family, friends. They've been coming here ever since like before she was born. They live in California. I believe they go to Utah. So she's on this family vacation, and at the end, the two people, Ricky and Lisa, decide that they're going to sell the cabin because they can't keep up with it anymore. And on the ride home, on the drive to the airport, she's makes a wish and she's like, please just tell me like how I can be happy, or show me how to be happy. And then they get hit by a truck carrying Christmas trees. And then she wakes up back on the plane. And so it's a Groundhog Christmas book. Groundhog Day. And I loved this. It was so cute. Something that I didn't really like about it, but this is kind of just like a miscommunication with me. Like, I read the back, but I also, like, before I started reading it, like, I read the Goodreads review, like the Goodreads synopsis, and the Goodreads synopsis makes it seem like it's going to be like a love triangle and she's going to have to decide between these two people, and that's not it at all. She's like dead set on this one person, and honestly, I wasn't mad about it, but it was kind of like, oh, and I did like them together. I thought they were cute. I liked her progress as like a person through this. Like, I think she starts over 3 times. I was expecting more of the other brother. I don't want to say his name, but I was expecting more of him, and not even in like a we need more of him for like angst. It was like, just seemed like it would have been nice to have more of him and May's friendship, because she constantly talks about how they're such good friends, and then there's like nothing of him, and there's a reason for that, but I didn't particularly like it. I also would have liked more of the other side characters. Like, we do get a lot of them, but it felt like we didn't get enough. I like side characters that are fun, and we did get a lot of Benny. Benny was a blast. Loved Benny. That's it. It was just it's a fun Christmas read. It gets you in the Christmas mood. And Christina Lauren is like a hit or miss with me. Like, some of their books, I'm just like, hell yeah, read this. It's the best thing that will ever happen to you. And others, I'm like, no, don't pick it up. It's not good at all. This is a good one, and I really liked it and highly recommend. So that's it. It currently is, I think, like 30 degrees outside and snowing. It snowed. I hit a trash can today driving because the ice on the road, I've literally never done that. So yeah, but it's officially like, it feels officially like Christmas now that it's snowing, and I'm really excited. So I hope you all are having a good time with the snow and everything if you live in Michigan or anywhere else. I know it's been snowing for a while other places, but I think last month we got to like 73 degrees like mid-November, which is not a good time, but yeah, that's it. Please follow all of my social medias. I will link them down below, and like, comment, subscribe if you've read any of these, if you want to talk about them. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Hope you're doing well. See you later. Bye.